I think the best decade that for fashion and social trends would maybe be the 60s or the 70s. I think a lot of that fashion and that trends are coming back now into the 21st century. So, yeah, I think the 60s probably.
I will always draw first to 1930s because the music, the Charleston, the dressing, makeup, the authenticity of it is just fascinating. You can never recreate that. But when I was younger, I always thought the 50s. I thought it was fun. And then I realized black people wasn't well received in those days, so it wasn't going to be fun for me. So for that reason, I would say 1930s, 40s, for sure.
I don't know about the social trends from basically any other decade. I think the progressive and sort of liberal views of this decade are my favourite because the world's become more equal. Fashion, I don't know, 70s are hilarious, not necessarily good. Music, definitely not the 20s. It would be, yes, 80s, Queen, best band ever probably.
That is a great question. While I didn't live in the decade myself, I think the 1920s were a really exciting time. It was a time of peace, a time of celebration. I think there were lots of sort of glitzy parties. It was very glamorous and very celebratory. I think in particular, in terms of fashion changes, it was a time where women started dressing more powerfully. They wore these fantastic trousers. I think they were called Wowzers trousers. And it was a time of empowerment. And I think that was a very exciting decade to be alive in.
I think the 60s was a great decade because it had a lot of creativity and colour in the fashion. There were some bands that are still successful and famous and well known today, and it was a time of change and in society, and there was a lot of movements around social justice and progress. I think this decade is the best one to live in because we can look back at everything that's gone before us and learn from that, and we have the power to change the future.